There's no longer any mystery surrounding Germaine Pratt's future with the Bengals, and in this video, I'll explain why the best course of action for what to do with him is crystal clear. Hi again, Bengals fans. John Sheeran of A to Z Sports Cincinnati here, and one of the biggest questions I had about this offseason for this team just 2 weeks ago has already pretty much been answered. Because with a lot of speculation surrounding T. Higgins and Trey Hendrickson and whether or not the Bengals are going to trade one of those two guys, it's Germaine Pratt who's coming before both of them with a trade request of his own. And a trade request coming from Pratt at this point in the offseason so early, a month before free agency even begins, is very telling to me for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's pretty clear that even though Al Golden has only been here for a couple weeks now, they've already had many conversations about what he wants this defense to look like and which players he wants to still be on this team. And despite my initial uncertainty as to how Golden would evaluate Pratt, it seems very clear at this point that Pratt is not in the future plans for the Bengals at all. And again, you never know exactly when these conversations are had, but typically with the Bengals, you expect them to operate on a slower clock than other teams. But it's not even the middle of February, and one of the Bengals' most notable veterans already pretty much knows that he doesn't have a future here anymore. Now, whether or not this has been directly communicated to Pratt and what form of communication that was remains to be seen. But the most likely scenario is the Bengals either approached Germaine Pratt about a potential pay cut that would pay him less but would keep him around for longer, or they just told him that, yeah, you're probably not going to be here much longer. Pratt and Golden could have also communicated with one another to discuss the future of this defense, and maybe Pratt just doesn't see himself as a fit with what Golden wants to do as the DC. But whatever the case may be, there has been at least some type of communication, I believe, with Pratt about his future with the team, and that future just doesn't exist anymore. And yeah, Pratt can just accept being a cap casualty and become a free agent and look to move on from somewhere else, but I think the reason why Pratt has requested a trade is because he doesn't want to lose any money in this scenario. Like, he's still on track to earn a salary of just over $5 million, and he can make a couple $100,000 more in bonuses, and he doesn't want to lose that. I think either he or his agent knows that he would not be able to make that kind of money on the open market as a free agent again. He's going to be 29 this year. He's coming off back-to-back down years. That time to pay him that kind of money has passed. So instead of trying to get a new contract with a new team, Pratt wants to make this type of money on another team instead. And for the Bengals, they should absolutely be interested in trading Germaine Pratt if there is a market for him. Like, this would be the exact same situation that the Bengals dealt with Joe Mixon this time last year. Remember, they were about to cut Mixon in the beginning of the free agency, but then the Houston Texans wanted to trade for him, so the Bengals got a 7th-round pick in exchange for Joe Mixon instead of just cutting him outright. And if the Bengals can find someone that's willing to part ways with a day 3 pick for Germaine Pratt, the Bengals should be all over that. They only have 6 picks right now. They would like to get back to 7 picks to complete a full draft class. That should 100% be the goal, and there's no difference in terms of how much money they would save if they were to trade him instead of just cutting him. And it probably won't be the Texans this time to bail the Bengals out again, but it could be another team in the AFC South that makes a ton of sense. Because Lou Anarumo, the guy who drafted Pratt in the first place back in 2019, well, he's the new defense coordinator of the Indianapolis Colts. Would the Colts be okay with parting ways with, I don't know, like a 5th or a 6th round pick for a veteran that knows Anarumo's system and scheme and has played under him for the past 6 years? I don't know why that would be out of the realm of possibilities. Regardless, nothing can really happen in the next month as trades aren't even official until March 12th when the league year and free agency begins. So everything between now and then is just talk. But reading the tea leaves here is very simple. Germaine Pratt, who was a playoff hero for this team in their last 2 playoff runs, he's no longer going to be a Bengal. It's definitely a new chapter for this defense, and it's going to be a chapter without Germaine Pratt. And that's just how life goes in the NFL. But what do you think the Bengals should do with Pratt? Should they cut ties, release him, be done with it? Should they hold on to him to see what type of trade compensation that they can get? Or maybe they should hold on to him for another year and see what he has to offer for this new defense. Let me know what you think in the comments.